Welcome back to Crystal Clear. I'm Vox, and a lingering head scratcher from Steven Universe the movie is the topic of Spinel's new form. In particular, how did she achieve this current reformation? As if she goes from this to this in the span of traveling to Earth, there definitely has to be some kind of reason behind it, and the movie fails to give us one. Now, this is something I already touched on in my theory that covers how Spinel got her hands on both the injector and the rejuvenator, but that was just one out of many possibilities. So I want to go through a few more, really try to narrow down the how behind this new look, while also clearing up a misconception. And spoiler warning in case you haven't watched Steven Universe the movie yet, go out there and catch up. Alright, so the aforementioned misconception revolves around the concept of reformations, as a large bulk of comments throughout various videos have given me the impression that permanent reformation doesn't have to be achieved by poofing, that gems can just change their forms whenever they please. I've seen this applied to both Bismuth's new form and Spinel's new form, although that conclusion and reasoning for Bismuth is far more understandable. But make no mistake, gems can only permanently change their form after they are poofed. The episode Reformed in Season 2 hammered in this rule, as Amethyst goes through a series of reformations that don't really reflect her, and these zany reformations appear every single time Amethyst reforms. Now, as far as we're concerned, any other form of physical alteration is shapeshifting, which is an ability that exerts energy. Thus, gems can't do it all the time, and if they try to hold out longer than they can, they will exhaust themselves, which was something that was explored with, once again, Amethyst in the episode Back to the Moon, and Steven in the episode Steven's Birthday, although Steven did not just exhaust himself in that instance, considering he regressed to an infant. Even Purple Puma, Amethyst's retired wrestling alter ego, is a product of shapeshifting. Now, there are some confusing gray areas, such as the Gems outfits in Beach Party and Pearl's spacesuit, alongside the likes of Jasper's cape. However, if I had to give an explanation for those, I would look to the episode Lars of the Stars, once Lars gained his pirate getup, remarking that he stole the entire costume. Peridot, in the episode Log Date 715-2, referred to clothes as appearance modifiers, but specified Earth clothing as ones not molded to your body. So I'm thinking clothing on Homeworld, like Lars' space getup, are actual tangible items of clothing, but they're kind of one size fits all. And instead of putting them on like clothes, perhaps they're stored in one's gemstone, but that's assuming it's an ability native to a gem. But when it's time to switch into these outfits, they're able with their gemstone light mumbo jumbo to apply these clothings perfectly onto themselves. But since Lars wasn't organic, the clothes didn't perfectly fit onto him, which is why his gloves kind of look like Legos at an angle. Anyways, as for the likes of Pink Diamond, being able to shapeshift into a rose quartz and manipulate the placement of her gemstone, staying as Rose for prolonged periods of times without exhausting herself, you have to take into account that she's a diamond. Thus, she naturally has more power and more energy than other gems. But besides, she only became Rose Quartz permanently after being poofed by Pearl, so everything from that day onwards wasn't shapeshifting. She truly, permanently reformed into what she felt like. A key way to identify for yourself if something is shapeshifting or a genuine reformation is if that form appears during a regeneration. For example, when Pearl reforms, she never cycles into Rose Quartz or a space outfit or a beach outfit, so we know those appearances were all a factor of shapeshifting in some way, shape, or form. As for the movie, gems regaining their memories after a factory reset appears to be something unprecedented. I don't think you can really apply what happens to Garnet, Amethyst, Pearl, and Spinel to the reformations of any other gems who were impacted by the rejuvenator. These were clearly scenarios where emotional breakthroughs restored a gem's memory, thus restoring all of their previous forms. So I don't think learning Pink Diamond truly abandoned her caused Spinel to just immediately reform into this current state. But with all that said, and taking up way too much time, that does bring me to my first possibility. Spinel poofed out of heartbreak. This sounds silly. It's been an established rule that gems only poof when their physical state is harmed. And I just laid down established rules to distinct reformations versus shapeshifting. So now I'm making a leap in logic. But hear me out. In our own organic bodies, heartbreak can literally kill you. It's a real occurrence, broken heart syndrome, which can occur after the loss of a loved one or the end of a relationship. Researchers from the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center found that a person's risk of suffering a heart attack increases by 21 times in the first 24 hours after losing a loved one. Researchers associate the increased risk with the feelings of depression, anxiety, and anger that comes with grief. Senior author Murray Middleman explains, the emotional sense of the broken heart may actually lead to damage, leading to heart attack, and a physical broken heart of a sort. Of course, gems don't have hearts. But we have to consider that because of Pink Diamond and Steven, Gemkind as a whole have been experiencing emotions that they normally wouldn't have otherwise. Because they weren't really programmed to, nor were they ever given the freedom to.
My feelings are irrelevant.
But the point stands. Beyond reforming after being poofed, we aren't really sure how the mental state of a gem can affect their physical form. Gems could very well have their own equivalent of a heart attack, but prior to Spinel's experience, it could have been nothing more than a hypothetical. Hell, it still is in this moment. Considering Spinel's designs are heavily associated with the imagery of hearts, I don't believe this is too far-fetched. That just with the immediate shock of everything, Spinel was so overwhelmed to the point where her physical form couldn't process it, that she was in so much mental pain that her physical form began to actually hurt, causing her to crumble and poof, turning 2005 DeviantArt Spinel into 2007 Hot Topic Spinel. But this takes me into possibility 2, which is by far a darker idea that I've also seen people throw around. So I just want to issue like a slight trigger and content warning. What if Spinel tried to shatter herself? This is a little bit more extreme, but I've seen it frequently suggested, and I can sense it already being suggested in the comment section of this video, so let's just address it. Spinel's sole purpose was to be Pink Diamond's best friend. It's what she was created for. Pink Diamond not only abandoned her, but lived an entire life without her, ceasing to exist. That's like 3 major revelations all in one. And obviously it would be a bit underwhelming and certainly crushing. We already know how easy it is to crack a gem, so if Spinel's mind did go there, it'd be very upsetting to say the least. Now, I'm glad Spinel didn't shatter herself, but just because we're even talking about this, I just want to take a moment to reach out to everyone watching. I don't know if anyone needs to hear this, if anyone's having a tough day, but just in case you need the reminder, do not forget that you matter, that there are people in this world that care about you. If you've been having certain thoughts or feelings, please don't throw your life away. And if you need someone to talk to, please call the numbers on screen. I know it feels like every YouTuber has referred to this at some point in the year, but it's for a reason. And as someone who's been there before, I would never want anyone to feel that way again. Obviously, I don't know every person in the world. I'm not able to reach everybody. But if I can even make a small impact on the audience I do have, then I know that making all these videos are truly worth it. Alright, that really derailed. So I'm just gonna close with a small possibility 3. We kinda already touched on it in that aforementioned previous video at the beginning of this video. What if Spinel was willingly poofed by someone else? This falls into the territory that the Injector and Rejuvenator was handed to Spinel by someone else. Another gem who's seeking revenge on Steven for Era 3 and all the change they brought, whether if it be Jasper, Aquamarine, Emerald, or some other gem we haven't met yet. Someone who saw Spinel vulnerable and angry, and exploited that anger for their own gain, pitching it and painting it as one thing to Spinel, when really they just want the exclusive satisfaction of revenge. That Spinel's current reformation is also a result of influence, negative, toxic influence, who pushed her into attacking the Earth with a Mega Injector, who pushed her into resetting Steven and the Crystal Gems. After all, what was Spinel's move after destroying the Earth, after getting revenge on Steven? She would inevitably have to face the wrath of the Diamonds, and she seemed pretty surprised to see them at the end of the film. So I'm assuming she did have some sort of plan, but at the same time, I think it's safe to say she wasn't thinking straight. But who knows? Maybe backing out on her quest to destroy the planet and ending on good terms with Steven and the Crystal Gems will lead to consequences for Spinel in the future. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But as always, these are just my thoughts and I want to hear yours. What do you think? How do you believe Spinel could have gotten this current form? And I know we got a little bit dark and real today, but at the same time, I'm just hoping if anyone out there needed to hear anything, then I'm certainly glad they did. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts at Roundtable Vids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at Fox. We're also on Instagram. Help the Roundtable grow by either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. Fox, signing out.